Every lawful cast vote must be protected and counted. The final result must emerge through the lawful process. Falsehood must be answered with transparency. Alleged wrongdoing must be addressed through lawful civilian institutions, and Zambia's peace and unity must remain paramount. Elections determine who governs. They must never determine whether we remain one people. Zambia is bigger than election, any political party, and any individual. Signed by.
Thank you. The statement is signed on behalf of Action Aid Zambia, Alliance for Community Action, Caritas Zambia, Chapter 1 Foundation, the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, the LCK Freedom Foundation, NGOCC, Transparency International Zambia, Zambia Council for Social Development, Panos Institute, Southern Africa, and Bloggers of Zambia. We will now open for any questions, if there are any.
Good morning, Zambia. Happy Sunday, and pray for our country. We're coming live this morning with a powerful team. Chanda Kaziya, former Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Labor and Social Security, and Dr. Brian Sampa, former President, Zambia Medical Association. I've got also international sports writer Augustine Mukoka, who will join us shortly. We review the events of the day, events of the week, events of the last 3 days have been extremely defining, and quickly share the broadcast so that we reach as many people as possible, so that we give insights that you may not be able to get anywhere else because of the circumstances and state of our country. Let me just bring to introduction my team. PS Chanda Kaziya, how are you, sir?
Yeah, good morning, and how is
wonderful, wonderful.
Okay.
I'm told you've moved states. I don't know where you are, but thank you for being available and making it to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dr. Brian Sampa, how are you, sir? Oh, where is Dr. Sampa? He's frozen. We have to allow him to reconnect. Dr. Sampa, you know the deal. When it freezes, just go out, come back in the studio. And we are still waiting for our dear brother, Augustine. Let me see if he's in the studio. Let me just see if Augustine is in the studio. For you at home, kindly share. We have a lot to update you. We have a lot. Augustine still hasn't come. We review events of the last... Oh, there you are. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Ambassador?
We were talking to ourselves. We just realized you were frozen. No, the last time we spoke to you, you were in a gown coming from surgery. Thank you for the sacrifice you make for our country.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Yeah, we need to do this.
Yeah.
It's our country.
Family, the plate is full.
PS?
The plate is full. I don't even know where to start from. And our dear brother Augustine has also joined. Let me see if I can bring in a 4-box so that the 4 of us can, let's see, do we have that 4-box? Just a minute. Let me just play a transition just to allow for us to, we all start together. Augustine is in the studio already.
see. You are interrupting me. Can you what keep quiet?
No, you can't tell the police officer like that. You can't tell the police officer like that.
So, excuse me.
Mr. Muremena will do his job.
That's all.
Okay, so Mr. Muremena will not proceed. I'll be here. You will not
Mr. Muremena is proceeding.
So, you are not going to proceed. We have to go and do the recount because our agents were driven away from here because of violence which is outside. So I'm not going to allow that.
You will not destroy my love for Zambia, country called Zambia. Last night, heavily armed personnel believed to be members of the Zambia army came to my residence in what I can only describe as an attempt on my life. Shots were fired. My home was invaded. My family was terrorized. Honorable Mutotwe Kafwaya and a few others were shot at in my presence. They sustained serious gunshot wounds. I watched one of my colleagues and fellow Zambians bleed as gunfire erupted around us. This was not politics. This was an attack on human life. I thank God that I am alive today. And my heart is with Honorable Mutotwe Kafwaya and other colleagues who were similarly affected, together with their families, and every person who has been traumatized by what happened. I pray that God will preserve their lives, guide the doctors treating them, and give their families the strength to endure this terrible ordeal. This was an attack on Zambia. Let me be absolutely clear. You may attack me, but you will not destroy my love for Zambia. You may intimidate me, but you will not make me abandon the Zambian people. You may surround my home with guns, but you will not make me pick up a gun against my fellow Zambians.
Thank you, family. Our dear brother, Augustine, how are you?
Ambassador, I'm very well, thank you. And how are you doing? I'm well as a human being, but I'm not too good as a Zambian because of what I'm receiving and what is happening back home.
Yeah, truly, we may smile because the Lord has given us another day.
Doctor, good morning, Doc. Good morning, PS. How are you both doing?
Mr. Mukoka, how are you? I can see you've been busy.
Yeah. we have to protect our country from distraction.
Yeah, I've been following what you've been posting.
Oh, like, yeah, I've been following too.
No, I love it. He abandoned sports. He abandoned sports just for this season. He has to save his country.
There is no sports ambassador.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, 2 Chronicles 7 verse 14 is very instructive. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I'll hear from heaven and I'll forgive their sins and I'll heal their land. If there's anything we need from the traumatic events, especially of the last 3 days, is the healing of our land. For those whose answers come on their knees, if there's any time to pray, it is now. Gentlemen, yesterday I hosted Dr. Sishua, and it was very clear. He has a sight of 4 parallel voter tabulation done by credible institutions. And he says in all the 4, Brian Munduwile was leading, had won the elections by 51%, by 52%, by 54%, by 56%, an average 53%. Clearly, Brian Munduwile has won this election. But Sishua also warned that when this information was given to the president, he says he won't have it. And you've seen, for example, the results from Southern Province. We have the Gen 20s, okay? That showed turnout of 49%. But now they've inflated the numbers, even double, you know, and you've seen manufactured results that is coming from Southern Province, despite having a poor turnout across the entire province. proving what Dr. Sishua was saying, also from the parallel voter tabulation done by many people participating in this process. And Dr. Sishua warned us that there's a process to steal this election. And then we saw it, because for the first time, we saw soldiers in totaling centers, taking over totaling centers, chasing monitors, observers, party agents. We saw first it came to Mufulira. In fact, that's what instigated Brian Mundubile to give the information that he was already aware of, that he had won the election. We saw the same brutal attack on another totaling center in Chingola. Then it has come across. The reports are everywhere, up to Katete, up to everywhere. And clearly, we are now in motion where the election is being stolen before ourselves, and we all appear totally helpless. The president was very, very smart. From the beginning, look at the laws he enacted. He was preparing from day one to a day like where we are. He appointed the speaker, Nelly Muti, who was facing criminal charges of up to 35 million kwacha, misappropriating funds for retirees. This is a very damning report. There's still a nole against her that was just discontinued in 2019. He appointed the chairperson of ECZ. Other than that, she's a party loyalist. She now has her daughter who's facing murder charges that have been reduced to manslaughter. And within a period of 1 week, she was given bail, and her accused partner. We have the Zambia army with heavy corruption accusations against him, and to an extent where criminal investigation started. And at the period when they could arrest him, there were changes. The army commander was removed. He was deputy and was made army commander. Imagine one of your own institutions is supposed to arrest the deputy army commander for acts of corruption, and then is promoted by the president. And the system, DEC, SEC, were immediately paralyzed. And you and I know what happened to those investigations. So the president has very extremely weak people overseeing institutions. Where will Ziele be if Mundubile won elections? He's fearing for his life that he probably will go to jail for the investigations that were being done under the government of President Hakainde Hichilema. Where will the ECZ chairperson be? She's looking at her daughter who's facing these murder charges. You have weak institutions. And I urge all of you that are watching us to watch our interview with Dr. Sishua yesterday. Tim, let me just give you the newspapers and I throw the ball back to you. Let's just quickly go to the newspapers. Yeah, of course, with what we have seen, now Hichilema is leading. That's news diggers, take note of it. And government is rubbishing Mundubile's claim of shooting at his house. This is another traumatic thing, something I went through. They beat you up, they lock you up, then they claim it didn't happen, and you look like you are a mad person. Even if there are many witnesses, you just look, they are good at trivializing assault on life. I can't compare what Brian Mundubile went through. For him, this was a military raid. For me, I was just, treated by simple policemen from service headquarters. This was a military assault on Brian Mundubile. But Thabo Kawana says, no, you saw both Thabo Kawana and Dixon Matembo joke at it that the country should not be treated to laughter. That's what they said. Take note of the Sunday Times. Of course, it's a state-owned enterprise. State-owned, controlled, state-owned everything. He says HH leads in leaps and bounds. Let's take note of the must. This is it under fire over results hot. Of course, this is the reaction that came very sharply for all stakeholders. And this is it, we're forced to reinstate the announcement. But by then, they had done all they could. Because by the suspension they did, they closed all all totaling centers across the country for that period of 5 to 6 hours up to the following day, because the other things were in the night. The changes, critical changes were made. But by the time they were reinstating, it was totally academic. We have our newspaper, Munduwile Survives Assassination Attempt. Now, we're very deliberate as EMV because when Munduwile was dropped after that traumatic experience, and gentlemen, I can disclose to you that the president was under pressure. Several diplomats called him about this military raid and the abduction of Brian Munduwile. So they had to release him, and he was just dumped with his spouse and the children. The first thing he did, he still didn't feel safe. The first thing he did was to call us, and I was live. I didn't know. There was just this persistent number coming. I said, oh, maybe in the volume. When I answered, it was Brian Munduwile, and the ordeal. So our newspaper today has dedicated to that assassination attempt. We still have worries because, like he explained, when they stormed his house, they were ramming into the gate to come down. One of his bodyguard quickly came and said, take cover. So Brian and his spouse and children went into one wardrobe. Bishop Trevor Mumba, Mtoto Kafwaya, and George Sanga went into another. And it was a military assault. They came in, guns blazing, literally, guns like Brian is explaining in extremely graphic detail. And he has said something that has worried all of us and the nation, that Mtoto Kafwaya was shot twice. And even when he was shot and was bleeding profusely, they were dragged on the floor, whether it was Munduwile's wife, the kids, Mtoto Kafwaya, Trevor, Bishop Trevor, or George Sang, they were all dragged, and Brian, you saw we explained and feared with this bleeding Mtoto Kafwaya also being treated like that. So, gentlemen, those are the matters on your plate before we go to issues of elections. Let me start with Dr. Sampa on the matters, see which topic you can choose among these. We'll do the issues of elections at the end of our analysis.
Okay, so the first thing I would want to talk about is the ordeal that the Emmanuel Mwamba verified paper has talked about, the survival of Munduwile, this assassination. To start with, Ambassador, it is a sad reading because in Zambia, this is the worst of all the elections we've ever had. We've never had an election where we had the military in moving around, harassing people, running away with ballot papers. It never happened. We've never had an election where the ballot papers were thrown all over the place, people going in the polling stations, stealing, ballot papers. But when you look at all these things that are happening, the reason they are happening is because it's the government instituting them. If it was not the government, there is no way somebody can just come from without, and there are police officers at every polling station. And this time we even have the military. So if somebody can come and steal the ballot papers, that simply means that it's the government. Because when they were stealing ballot papers, for instance, in Chawama, the people were wondering, where did the police disappear to when those criminals came? But as usual, we are dealing with a criminal entity itself. The UPND government have proven to us that indeed it's a criminal entity. Look at Munduwile. He was helpless. Even the people who were surrounding him, they were not even armed. If you look at those pictures and the video we've seen, which is proof that indeed this ordeal happened, we can see on the window how there were gunshots there. And they didn't aim to arrest him. They didn't aim to interrogate him. That's not how you approach somebody you want to interrogate. They aimed to kill. But this also brings us to one thing. You see, this president we have in Zambia is a president who was one of the first people to go and attend the election that happened in Tanzania, where a lot of people died and the election was refuted. A lot of opposition leaders were arrested. But this is a president who went there and glorified that leader, that the Tanzanian people are supposed to respect him and appreciate him, appreciate her indeed for everything that he thought she had done, and that they were lucky to have her. But everyone, the world was watching, and we all saw the brutality that happened in Tanzania. But he identifies, Hakainde identifies with such people. And now he's showing us the brutality. What we are seeing is what is happening everywhere. What happened, the fact that they can go to Munduwile's house, that's what they are doing to other Zambians. And some people, you may not even know about them. Just today, Ambassador, yesterday, we heard of a story in Kanyama where the soldiers went in and then the cadres came, the cadres chased everybody, and they just remained the UPND cadres. Our people and the people for other political parties had to call for help because they felt that those results were going to be tampered with. It is not just there. We have heard of stories also, even in Chinsali and in Chilinda constituency. We heard Kararwe Mkosa was opening up that there were people who were trying to change the Gen 20s. Even the former Minister of Health, Dr. Chanda, he also complained about it, that where he is, people are trying to steal the votes. This has never happened before. They try to paint other people so bad, but these are the criminals which we never thought we could have. And you see, when you have got organized crime in form of a government, it's very difficult to tackle. Because you see what they have started doing. Ambassador, they are sending messages to people in Zambia that they should ignore the abductions. They should ignore all these stories that happened to Munduvile. And when I first heard of that story, I thought it was a lie until somebody sent me a screenshot of the messages that they are sending to everyone's phone. And these are people who are capable of denying any wrongdoing, even if they are doing it. So we need to understand the kind of people we are dealing with. And I'm really glad that Munduwile survived that and that he's in a safe place, because without the pressure that we all put in and other people, the international community, Munduwile today wouldn't have been alive, because this government is determined to win. Now, when you look at the way they have been systematic, like the way you mentioned, Ambassador, that they've been systematic in trying to rig these elections, like Sishua said. I was looking at the numbers, Ambassador. There is no way where you can have 29 constituencies in Southern Province, and then you've got 26 in Western and 19. When you add 3 provinces, they are giving you 75 members of parliament. And these are their strongholds. We've got 226 in total, but 3 provinces alone are having 75 members of parliament. So this is already too much for 3 provinces only. But they had to do that because they want to just have perpetual power. They want to have control of parliament. And Zambians tried to fight this. We can't blame Zambians because Zambians fought Bill 7. But this is a man who doesn't listen to any voice. He's a dictator. At this point, Ambassador, there is no need to even beat about the bush that this man is having dictatorial tendencies. No, he is a dictator by nature. Because when you look at what he's doing, a democratic leader cannot do this. There is no democratic leader who can even unleash the military on their own people. You can't unleash the military on your own people. And those shootouts we are seeing, because when you unleash the military, they'll always be with their guns and they are going to be with live ammunitions. The military are not going to go with blanks like the police do. The police are the ones who are trained to handle these crimes. But if you send the military, then you are expecting some people to be taken out. So indeed, we are in a precarious situation, and we just urge all the Zambians to be very careful, extremely careful. Number one, let's guard our votes, because it's not too late yet. We can still guard those votes, and we've seen that they are still stealing. We have seen the stolen votes which have started coming in from Southern Province, like what Shua said, what Ambassador said. in Southern Province, the turnout was so poor. I have friends there, we've spoken to so many people, and they've said the turnout was poor. But for some reason, the MP is having 67, 56% turnout, but the president is having all of a sudden 89. And then this is a president who even knows that those results are not true, but he is determined to stay in power at all cost. I think what we should do now, Ambassador, is that we should push that they announce the results for Southern and Western, because they are delaying to announce Southern and Western province so that they see how much they need to steal. So that if they announce more from the powerhouse for Munduwile, they announce all these, then they are going to be like, okay, so our shortage is 1 million, and now they are going to inflate in Southern and Western to make sure they cater for that 1 million. So we need to push that they announce those results first, because those results are done already. They are done. Even members of parliament have been declared in Southern Province. So we have all the results. So they need to announce the results for Southern Province, Western Province, and Northwestern, so that now, at that time, there will be nowhere where they can rig. Because as long as they keep delaying, what will happen is after they are done, now we are going to be stuck, because they will come up with numbers we are not even going to understand.
Thank you very much. Augustine, your take on today's papers and your reflection on everything else.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I think the number one thing about today's papers is what came from EMV about Honorable Brian Munduwile's military invasion. We cannot mince words. That was a military invasion on a private property, and it's illegal anywhere in the world. What is disturbing and very sad is the lack of respect for human life. I'm sorry to say, clowns such as Dabo Kawana and his friends at Defense and Home Affairs even went to Maina Soko Hospital and staged a press briefing where they were even laughing, Ambassador. Yet 4 to 5 people are unaccounted. Honorable Mutotwe Kafwaya.
Gentlemen, you know, those videos are very shocking. Let me just play them just to update our audience. So that, Augustine, your view then will be properly, you can then define exactly what we are dealing with. Let me just look for these videos quickly.
We are also joined by the owner of the facility, the PS for Defense, Mr. Amaundu, is here. So, Mr. Amaundu, please explain to the people, explain to the Zambians. Is Honorable Kafwaya here? And was Honorable Kafwaya shot by your army?
It's a laughing matter. I think
And was Honorable Kafwaya shot by your army?
it's a laughing matter. I think we need
Kafwaya here. And was Honorable Kafwaya shot by your army?
It's a laughing matter. I think we need to be serious as a people. We need really to move away from fabricating information. I actually came through to Maina Soko upon reading on social media that Honorable Kafwaya was shot and is actually at Maina Soko. And I can confirm to members of the public that that is unfounded. We are at Maina Soko. I've checked the record. I've engaged the management here. At no time in the last 48 hours have they received any patient by the name of Honorable Mtotwe Kafwaya. So it's a total fabrication, and which is really, really unacceptable. And that is why I can confirm really to say there is no patient. We need to be serious as a people.
Your army.
It's a laughing matter. I think we need to be serious as a people. We need really to move away from fabricating information. I actually came through to Maina Soko upon reading on social media that Honorable Kafwaya was shot and is actually at Maina Soko. And I can confirm.
Become
to be confident in the system that we have put in place. There are so many falsehoods that are being thrown around in our country in order to agitate the Zambian people, for the Zambian people to rise up or create a chaos in our country, Just today, I'm just hearing that there's a rumor going out there that President Mundubile has been arrested. There's no truth to that. Just today, I'm just hearing that there's a rumor going out there that President Mundubile has been arrested. There's no truth to that. And yet some people have taken it as gospel truth in order to agitate the Zambian people to be calm, to be confident in the system that we have put in place.
Gentlemen, you heard for yourself. Augustine, proceed with your contribution.
Correct. So, Ambassador, you find that, first of all, do these people have families? Do they have brothers? Do they have wives? Do they have sisters? I always have problems believing that witchcraft exists. But when I looked in their faces, I realized that this is the true definition of what is known as witchcraft. Because Honorable Mtoto Kafaya's family right now is in despair. They are looking for their loved ones. You go and stand at Maina Soko, where we are being told that his lifeless body has been deposited. And you say the issue is laughable. On what grounds are you standing on? I mean, there has to be decency in our lives, no matter your political persuasion.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. In yesterday's broadcast, I kept on referring to the permanent secretary there as Dixon Matembo of Home Affairs. In fact, that is Mambo Hamaundu, the PS for Defense. Just correction to the dear audience that we had attributed that to PS Dixon Matembo. It's actually PS of Defense, Mambo Hamaundu. Continue.
Thank you, Ambassador. The viewers would also be interested to know that the person standing next to Mambo Hamaundu is actually Matembo. You can actually see his body language.
Indeed. But the one who was making those mocking words had attributed it to Dixon Matembo. No, it is actually Mambo Hamaundu, as you saw in the video.
Thank you, Ambassador. And you can see the body language from Matembo, the Home Affairs Minister, the Home Affairs Permanent Secretary. Why, first of all, why would we fabricate a story that somebody has died when in fact they haven't died? We understand the gravity of death. We understand that, when you lose a loved one, you will never get them back. So we, the people who are perceived to be close to Brian Mundubile, we, the people who are vouching for Brian Mundubile, why would we be purveying falsehoods that our people have died? Of what benefit is it to us? In fact, we should be the ones protecting and giving out the correct information that, well, these people are alive. Here are their pictures. We went to their home. Here is the location of where they are. They are here. They are smiling. We should be the ones providing that information. But because we cannot see these people, our loved ones, our friends, our brothers, we then have to go out and tell the nation that, gentlemen, for 24 hours, we have not seen our dad. He was among the people that was shot in the raid, in the military invasion at a private residence of Honorable Brian Mundubile, and we have not seen him. Where is he? Who is treating him? Okay. That is why we are saying, tell us where they are. Ambassador, it's unusual that an eminent lawyer, such as former LAS President George Chisanga, would for 48 hours be away from his family without communicating. It's unusual. It's unusual that a senior man like Bishop Trevor Mwamba would be away from his family without communicating. In fact, his family have even written to SADC. There's a letter I published yesterday. His family have written to former president of Botswana, Masisi, asking that we cannot account for our loved one. Help us. You are the head of mission for SADC in Zambia. Please help us. Where has he disappeared? We understand he was among the people that were with Honorable Brian Mundubile. Where is he? I can tell you, Ambassador, that from 03 on Thursday, I only slept about 5 hours ago. Why? Because we were looking for the people that were missing, that were present at Honorable Brian Mundubile's home. So to see that a man of God like Nevas Mumba, I'm sorry, I don't think he deserves the title of a pastor, is making fun of such a grave human rights violation is unacceptable. Nevas Mumba should not even be an adult or an elder in Zambia, because he cannot go on social media and start claiming those things that he claimed. I'm saddened. I'm saddened that we have characters like those. The nation would want to know. It's a fact, number one, that Honorable Brian Mundubile's home was raided. There were serious gunshots. And here is a revelation that we all should know. There was no warning that those people are going to be shooting. The moment they arrived at the gate, if you saw the video, they started firing gunshots. They fired gunshots in the room where the guard was sitting. They fired serious gunshots. Then they brought the army vehicle and literally bashed the gate. The gate fell. When that gate fell, they then gained access. The video of this narration, it can be matched with what BMTV, I think there was a BMTV reporter who went on site. He found welders trying to mount the gate. And he explained, the welders were explaining, giving an amateur description of what happened. So it's a fact that there was a raid. It's a fact.
Augustine, let's just play that briefly so that people know what you are referring to.
Okay. Well, I'm at the premise that is said to be Brian Mundubile's resident. I'll try by all means to get insights to find out. Bwana, maseza bwanje? Yo, ndinasontwa. Katika BMTV. Yes, the journalist. Oh. Yes. So, napo sasa find out the next kacha tupana. Yes. So kapena ngati already kuli ma sessions aja kumbachiwa na sala kidnap shanshan. So ndivane nabwera kumvera kono.
No, tulozinestika zona manje wewe amene akhala pano ni mwana wanga. Akhala ku 70 kujana wenango. So achukapo chi bati abwera manje.
Okay.
So andimira chifono to bomb temzeko kushukira gate kai.
Gate.
Samawelda.
So by my family members bali wonse.
Palibe kulibe senza bwera na masitani. Basi kulibera muntu ali wonse mukati.
Okay. Wanabwera pa.
Wamanye manje pacho kwa
wabwera manje.
ICZ.
Okay, wanabwera pano ndani wana staff act wa mdala Bramdube. Wanabala ma inform
kamba kwa mimi matana kala pano ni wakapokola na kulika pansi wonse. Ngo gozi wakapokola. Na wafamile muona kushuta. Na blood hapa.
Wanashuta bandani mkati.
Sasa wika kutana shuta ndani. Sasa bukati benzi bambili mkati. Etse bambili bashito wao. Kwatu wanashuta hapana washito wao.
Banafapo once for
the Atbali banafapo.
Banafapo by most people.
Kapena wali most people.
Okay. So nakapokola che not masoja not okay. Yes. Okay. So
is kama ni masoja?
Masoja. Okay.
Masoja.
So it's one to go to Bwanji. Wala si bunga na motoka.
Wanabunga na motoka. Ende bunga kuja tayari. Jabu.
So mungani bomekeza ku ngena ukati.
Ukati.
Sizangena mkati mnyumba, but just panja. Yeah, not mnyumba.
No problem.
Okay, thanks so much. Don't worry, in general, this idea and then
Okay.
So, okay. So right here, I'm inside Brian Ndubile's residence, where all that occurred transpired right here, where I'm actually reliably told by these individuals who are caretakers that there was some shootings. If you can see from this window,
Thank you, family. Augustine, I was buttressing your point, and I thought we could have insight of that video. At the end of the program, we'll show everything where people have liberty. But I have a caller. He says he really wants to speak on camera. So let me put him live. Let's just listen to him briefly. Just hold on, sir. Yeah, please proceed.
Thank you so much.
Please proceed.
Thank you so much. I would appreciate to remain anonymous at the minute, but I'm trying to speak from the bottom of my heart as for now. I must make mention that number one, I'm passing an apology, maybe to you, Ambassador, as well as to the NRPUP party, because in a long time I've been seeing you just as almost advocates of potential violence, and that is what I've been seeing you. But I'm passing an apology. I think I've had you wrong. What makes me say this is what is currently obtaining. I think I'm not really appreciating the developments that are unfolding, especially leading to the invasion of Mr. BM8 by the military. And I'm also seeing a lot of inconsistencies in regards to how maybe the ECZ is administering the electoral process to this minute. And also, I'm just looking at how the results are coming out and how they're being announced, and the small pockets of violence also, and the general language across the country. It feels as though the majority could have really voted for the NRPUP party. I must be sincere that as I speak, I actually didn't vote for NRPUP. I voted for the incumbent. But I'm going to say that no, I'm not liking how things are unfolding. If the voice of the people, the voice of the Zambians is that there be regime change, no, let it be that way. We may have preferences as individuals. We may want to still be in power. But if the majority have said no, honestly speaking, it will be prudent, it will be mature, and for the sake of Mother Zambia, that has been led by the will of the people from times immemorial to date. I think it's better to go that way. Holding on to power, trying to play malice on the votes, I think would be to an extent a little bit unfair. So I would urge you as a party and probably as Mother Zambia, really to make use of the news at this minute, maybe to seek more of godly intervention. Otherwise, I'm fearing for probably a worst case scenario. And please, apologies, I've been taking you wrongly, but I think I'm made to think otherwise. For now, maybe my heart is with you, and I'm getting motivated to maybe to believe in you also as a party. Thank you for now. Otherwise, this is my little submission.
My brother, thank you very much for those words. I'll store your number. I'll call you after this program.
Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Indeed, thank you.
So, gentlemen, this caller came on and insisted that he wanted to speak. And he says he wants to render an apology. In fact, before I put him online, he said, I've always believed, the accusations that you're a propagandist, but the last few weeks that I've watched you, I've actually had very wrong assertions against you. And he says, I'm going to church, and I feel strongly the urge to apologize and seek forgiveness from you. It was very humbling. So I asked if he could say the same on camera, and that's how you find him to speak. Augustine, finish your thoughts, then we go to PS Chanda Kaziya.
As you know, a conclusion, because this is a developing story, we need a full report, not from anyone else, but the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces in the Republic of Zambia, and that's no other than, at the moment, President Hakainde Hichilema. He sought to the Constitution to defend every single life of a Zambian. And we want to know who ordered that operation from the Zambia Army, why was it ordered, and we want him as President of the Republic to account for each and every life that was at opposition leader Brian Mundubile's residence. A quick one, Ambassador, before I wrap up. I do see the story in the news diggers giving a figure that HH is leading by 87 something.
This one? Yeah, okay.
Interestingly, Ambassador, from those figures, somebody went quickly and calculated all the announced constituencies. The figure that we got is the difference. 9,145 votes are missing from Brian Munduvile. It therefore means that that difference is not correct. Just from the ECZ numbers that they've announced, I've just posted a story that they sent to me. They've gone to calculate constituency by constituency to get to 49. When you get to 49 of those constituencies in a calculator, it's giving you 360,000 plus. They have 350 something plus. It is not only one person, various people have computed that. So the difference that the ECZ themselves have announced is wrong. It's a mismatch. They have to check the numbers. They have to announce the correct figures. It's unfortunate when they were being told you're announcing wrong figures. The chairperson was even upset. No, we are announcing correct figures. I mean, how do you go? You are an umpire. How do you go? You are highly charged, very emotional. You are being asked, or you are being advised that what we have is not tallying with what you have. Let's correct the figures before you announce them. Madam Mangala Zalomi should not set our country on fire. This is our right to get the actual figures, to get the actual candidate who won based on what the voices of the people, express themselves in the ballot. So let's guard. I've received, I think, multiple reports from across the country about the manipulation. Away from the wrong figures they've announced, the wrong difference they've given, there is multiple schemes to manipulate the vote. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was prompted to reach out to the African Bureau, the US African Bureau. We want this election to proceed it may not be perfect, but it has to be decent. We've had elections organized better than this. Ambassador, even when observers made statements about election in previous cycles, they never issued statements that we're seeing. They are revealing that there's been intimidation. They're also revealing that there's been excessive use of public funds. Covered, I think it must be Dr. Sampa who raised it, or it could have been PS, one of the days when we were together here, when they said these, campaign rallies by president are couched as community engagements, and you explained that it was a way of abusing or justifying the use of public funds on those rallies. Look at the statement by the EU. The EU has said, no. That created an excessive uneven ground against other political parties. President Hakainde Hichilema himself, the other day we were looking at the number of rallies he had, 160 something plus. Honorable Brian Munduvire had about 60 something plus. Where are we today? They were claiming they will get 5 million. Look at the numbers. The numbers are not with them. And before Sishua went live on EMV last night, I did get calls from the independent monitors who have also confirmed that President Hakainde Hichilema has lost the election. He has lost election. They are saying the numbers across 3 independent monitors are showing that he is behind by 550,000 plus. So the difference between him and Brian Munduvire is 550,000 plus when you amalgamate the total numbers that have come across the country without manipulation. Now, they're trying to manipulate. Even with manipulation, there's still a huge difference. So they're trying to match or reach that number, but they are struggling. And I think they will not manage because every one of us have the Gen 20s. And if you have observed, we are publishing some of them. I was told last night, Senanga South, some guy, or it should be Likando Mufalali, who was collecting Gen 20s, new ones, grabbing them away from the monitors. This is what has been replicated across the country, where they still want to think that they can match up. And they wanted, what I've been told is that they want to hurriedly announce today, they will announce tomorrow and declare him a winner. But they should not make that mistake. They shouldn't make that mistake. The head of state has lost this election, just like President Edgar Lungu conceded defeat. He too must concede defeat. Zambia does not belong to him, it belongs to all of us. The people have expressed their views in the ballot. He has lost the election in excess of 550,000 votes as the difference. And we demand as Zambians that he accepts that every Zambian that voted have said, we gave you a mandate, and now, sir, we are withdrawing that mandate and giving it to another Zambian, your fellow Zambian. The president has already shed blood in this election. He should not shed more blood. His coming was, his hands are stained with blood. His hands are now stained with blood. It is the time to negotiate his exit. It is a time to say, brothers, I've made mistakes. I do want to accept responsibility. I am sorry for what I have done. I thought this is what I was doing, and I'm ready to accept that I live and go and live a peaceful life. Then we can begin reconstructing what he has broken down. Because right now, our country is on 6s and 7s, and President Hichilema has the responsibility to save it. I thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much, and thank you. Let me go to Chanda Kaziya. Chanda Kaziya, we had Dr. Sishua for 2 hours yesterday. He gave similar insights of what we've been talking about here, but his insights were incredible. Speak to that. Did you have time to watch Dr. Sishua and also speak to the issues of today?
Wow, when you have such brilliant gentlemen go before you, it becomes very difficult even to match them. I like the way they are organized in terms of the data and in terms of the coherence of what they are giving us is kind of like really nailing the nail on the head. So I had, yes, a time to listen to Dr. Sishua. Dr. Sishua is a very interesting person. I have had also an encounter with him. I don't know if he didn't mention it, but I think I've not asked for his permission, but I think I can mention something. So Dr. Sishua came to my office as well. when I was a permanent secretary of the Ministry of Labor. He came with Kennedy Mwamba, the now permanent secretary for Ministry of Education, when there was issues with Unzalaru. I went to Unzalaru and they wanted to do a strike, I think at the time. And I was trying to prevent that from happening by taking them back to the negotiation. So they stood up and walked away and said, we always do it our way. And if you don't care, if you don't buy, but I think I was commissioned at the time, and then say, they simply just told me off and they left. So I cancelled their meetings with the ministers that they should have had, and threatened to deal with the recognition agreement. And it went very, very brutal. It was quite brutal. So they came, Dr. Shishua came to my office with Kennedy Mwamba, and they raised that, they said, let's have a conversation. Dr. Shishua sat in the office listening. I looked at him while I was explaining the procedures of resolution agreement and how dispute resolution would go. He didn't say a word. At the end of the meeting, he looked at me and said, give us a chance to go and look at what we need to do, and then we'll get back to you. That is all he said. And he went back. And from there on, we started a very good engagement, because at the time, they thought that I was very much anti-union at the University of Zambia. But I told them that the University of Zambia cannot survive without the union. Because if the union, the Zalaru union, is not there, management will go ballistic doing whatever they want to do. And that is not good, because they provide a very good checks and balance. But I was also holding them accountable on the things that they needed to do. They were almost dealt with in a very bad way with the SEC. And I had to go in and say, no, there is a different law that protects them when they do what they do and would say what they say. I, at one time, wanted to cancel the recognition agreement, and they took me to court. At the court, I lost the matter, but I knew the technicalities. If I had indicated to go back and appeal, I would have easily won, but that would have destroyed the union. So I kept quiet and considered defeat. When I was being told to say, no, let's appeal, I said no, because just this is enough once I go through this process. So Dr. Shishua is one person who researches, goes deep into the matters. When I heard him say his encounters with the political leadership, both within during PF times and the UPND times, I saw a man who is consistent and who is deeply read, and has indeed is an incredible historian. And his relationship and the way he relates his facts to the present realities is something that is so very impressive. I felt the chills. I feel the chills when he spoke about that right now, as things stand, President HH knows that he lost the election. And when he went into the details, according to him, on how the scheme of things is being crafted to make sure that the election is overturned, I was like, wow. And he is very bold, and he would relate to things that are difficult to ignore. Even if you want to ignore, but you would not actually ignore them, because they are bordered on research and his connections to people that do actual realities on the ground. When he spoke about the PVT with all the institutions that he just said, I couldn't name them, but he indicated that there is a loss that is done. But he also indicated that there is no willingness on the part of the current leader to give away power, and hence the meetings that were happening in terms of now changing the course of the electoral system. He brought out serious gaps, especially when you talked about the civil service. You see, we all have spoken about the unprofessional conduct of our colleague Tabo Kawan. I never knew that Mwamba would also do that. I never imagined in my entire life that Mwamba would do that. And to tell them, we have been permanent secretaries. We have stood where they stood. Those positions are temporal. They are supposed to be used for the benefit of the people. When you are sworn in as permanent secretary, you sought to make sure that you support the president, but also you pay allegiance to the constitution. When I saw Tabo make fun of the situation, like say comical thing, oh, I've brought this person here, like it's kindergarten kind of arrangement, lacking being unserious and professional, out of touch with reality, lack of empathy, no public relations in it. What I was expecting is we will do whatever we have to do within the powers that we have as permanent secretary to make sure that we find out more and come back with the full information about where the whereabouts of our colleagues. But to stand up and touch the other guy on the shoulder and even Mambo even makes a laugh, oh, that's a joke. Colleagues, you realize when you leave that place that the only thing that will save you is what you do for the Zambian people and how the Zambian people feel about you in that position. People give enormous respect, anticipation in the position. The expectation is way above, because permanent secretary, you are the highest in the civil service in terms of, ministerial position. You can't make fun of people when they are being shot at. Did they even go to the house? If Tabo Kawana went to President Munduwire's house and is speaking from there, would you have said the same thing he said? If those three permanent secretaries, there's nothing that stopped them from getting in the cars. Instead of staying there, said, let's go and check where Honorable Brian Munduwire lives, so that when we are speaking, we'll be speaking from what we are seeing there. Why didn't they go there? They choose to mock. And I agree with my brother Augustine, that when you see them, you look at them, would they behave that way if it is the same, it is one of their family members, or if it is happening to them? It is sad. They don't deserve those positions if they will be behaving that way.
Thank you, PS. It seems people want to speak. Just a minute, PS. What I'll do is, let me just take some calls. They are persistent calls. We just take a few calls, then I bring you back so that we incorporate the views of our people. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, good morning, Ambassador Mwamba and the panelists there.
Good morning.
Yeah, today I think we remain anonymous, but I think you're able to recognize this voice.
Please proceed, my brother, with your contributions.
Yes, even as we are discussing the electoral malpractice and the raiding of our president's home and abductions and the shootings, I also want to I would also like you to discuss, the vice president's whereabouts. Because he was last heard over 24 hours ago. Vice President Makebi is not heard. What is happening? There is an information gap. Should we also speculate that he too has been abducted or what? Because we're only seeing, Mpundu, Honorable Mpundu, former member of parliament from Ghana, Pino Mpundu, Mkandira, they are the ones that are giving updates. Where is the vice president? And then the last point that I'd like to raise is in discussing the electoral malpractice, let's also discuss the aftermath of this election. If the UPND manages to steal it, God forbid if they manage to get it, I fear that the opposition will go in, the main opposition, NRPUP, will go into oblivion. The reason is, look what the RP also filed their own candidates. So we've seen already RP, the president, Piri, is gone to bed with Againde Hichilema. So meaning if HH wins, God forbid, all those members of parliament, councillors, chairperson, mayors, and so on, those will be coerced to work with UPND. As you know, they will be ruling, so they'll be able to manipulate that. And then even NRP also, President Mundubire was, he only used NRP as a vehicle. He's just a presidential candidate. He's not the president of NRP and NRPUP. And as treacherous as UPND is, as cunning as they are, they will be able to convince and buy off. They may be able to convince and buy off the president of NRPUP, as you know, money speaks. So I would like you to speak to these issues, Ambassador Mwamba, and the panelists there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from, and make your contribution. Hello, caller.
Can I also contribute?
Please proceed to introduce yourself and tell us your name or whatever, and then make your quick contributions.
Your former neighbor in Villa Elizabeth. My contribution is those who are saying it's going to oblivion, they must not be worried. The way things are, the people are annoyed, and those who are going to teach, they will be dishonored by the people in the constituents. So those who are expressing those concerns, the ambassador assure them that the power is with the people. Now the people are very much annoyed. So whoever teaches Mundubire for UPND will just dig his own grave. I think you remember what happened to Gribasata. So they expelled all of them, and he still remained popular. So those who are expressing those concerns, they should be worried. Whatever happens, we are even going to get even more stronger. And the reason why we have not even done well is because most of the supporters of Mundubire, they didn't register. Because when they were registered in the instance that people felt the opposition had been killed. By the time the opposition was showing up months ago, it said that already closed the registration. So most of the people, they didn't register. So otherwise it would have been all over. So those people expressing those concerns, they should know that the power is with the people, and the people are annoyed. And the people, they don't even know why people are annoyed. But Ambassador, call me when you are done with the program. We'll talk.
Thank you, neighbor. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and make your contribution.
Good afternoon, good morning, Ambassador.
Good morning.
Ambassador, ile kulingana na mashuara ndile bashishua kusikana lero potuvedeve ndero mbako ambassador imwe muli available broadcast yenu ili available nishitayonse na rombako ku bantu abarejiringa na PVT babombe na imwe bachecking so far PVT ya ku Southern Province Wambio kumitumira amaliza house, wa ECZ over today announced so far, oroba stay compare na PVT so far ngeranga. Na yonse alia PVT tukwetu Southern Province, Northwestern Province. Wamitumira alia amaliza house Mwamba, papa Mwamba broadcast. Wambio kuturangisha, pakwe batinga, wakunda ba ECZ. Tuwasta compare na PVT na Gen 20. Ili kuliofo ileranga. Pantoko tufikiri wa ambassador. Ishta yapu, wanangutukonga nyoko sta analyzing. Baravena bari abari sta advance. So it's better wa ambassador. Mumwe bari available broadcasting. Waibo mfeko so far. Pakwe bati abantu besho kuturendera. Ayamari zauti wa punda. Ngachakwe bati naba pisana kona June 20 eswiri ya Southern Province. Ya Northwestern Province. Including pura pakwe tuambio kuendera pamunga wapunda. Ambassador kutuma panga format ya kwa bati mureti kingo kuraranga umuri red flag nango umuri exactly na tishwe kwa bati ba mundubire wa president wesu na wina na 54% tromba tureto ambo kwendera pamo mushaya mari results bapunda muri yonga we bati manipulate nango yali correct so inacho na romba ko fyo kwa bati broadcast yen baibo mfyeko shonse ntunguru shishiri ku Southern Province na Northwestern na Western Province wamipere data yakaena PVT ofoireranda poko bati ne charo chambiro kwendera pamo nabari kwa shangombo nabari kurunga bamwe okwe batawo ama elections oko turendera palisho bwira ukuchira abantu bambo kumona amari zawo kibarepunda bambyo kurusa opatyo batubira papene ishita yako sta verify ambassador I submit.
Thank you very much. The last caller for now, so Dr. Chanda Kaziya can finish your thoughts. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. And dita ya mamdishani.
Na posha kona wonse papaneo letu mina kopa peo tukuna.
Mkwai.
Mwambaine echo ngefo kuipusha kuwali papaneo hapo. Mulia muisize jimairo ero bale punda barabali saima bamukandira na bakasonde mwenda balefu kuipusha kwe bati ifindu mulepunda zefu kwa fiende munshire ya sona so ifya kitike vya kwe bati balisa bafunyamo mulia mamona so nomba ifinish firela ngenshi pya kwe bati muntu alefu kushiningisha okumono ukuba kita collect kwe bati mufire mulende bati balekana so nomba nishi wala bo kwenda shani pali ifyo so ifo tulefu ba Emmanuel Mwamba yo ine media enyo into mkwete ilefwa kwa mwambi okulati pela imwe efyo mkwete fishinga pali ba mundu bilefyo bapitira mwamona kwa zifo to alivota nangu kuno kopa peote from ndeni yo sakwe bati foto alivota pesana nangu majority abantu abengi to votele ba plan mundu so tulefwa ifo mtu afwe ba Emmanuel Mwamba yo ine twambi okulati kwa fishinga pali yo ine broadcast yenu batwasange fishinga kwa bati voto asango kwa bati ba president besu bapitira ifo tuishi mefyo kwa bati walana ba president besu wa plan mundu aba dictator tetu bakonki kai bali fo kwe bati batubira my election and apana fyambo kumoneka kwe bati mingala to bali fo kuchita so apanga to ambo kulalolera kuri ba ECZ firafindi bale chita dafile panga sense na mpano no abatubira kale so ifo to ambe kwate chingo kufuma kuri mo Emmanuel Mwamba na ba president ba plan mundubire bambi okula monekera pali yo ine platform yenu bale randa ma issues yonse ale chitika muno mchalo cheso cha Zambia kulefu atwambi okubomfya ine platform ne fyaro fyonse fyakunse jambi okula mona pali yo platform ndimule bomfya Mwamba atotera mkwana.
Thank you very much. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Thank you very much. So calling you from Lusaka, Zambia. Excellent panel you have, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba. And it must be stated that you are doing a very good job. God bless you. Well, as things stand today, it is now evident that we are dealing with a person who wants to give up power. The other call alluded to the issue of parallel voter tabulation in as far as the opposition are concerned. Indeed, that was a genuine concern. I am not of the view that the opposition should have put up a very strong voter tabulation setup. Because all those results I was hearing yesterday, they are highly suspicious. And if you think that Chipens can sit and give results that are accurate, then we are shooting ourselves in the foot. So what we are saying is that we have never seen elections like this, Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba. You get commandos, or you enlist commandos from the barracks, special forces. What are they for? What are the commandos for? For what? Why didn't you bring the military at the minimum? Why should you bring commandos? And you are bringing commandos, ballot papers are being stolen. You have police, you have military police, you have commandos, ballot boxes are being stolen. Where is President Ndayishimiye? He is seated in his state house right now, pressing buttons there, here, and there. It's very much unfortunate that has happened to our leader, Brian Mondowira. And that trend, these people must be warned that what goes round comes round. This violence that you are bringing, you are not going to stop it. They must be taught. So please, what we are saying is that whoever is igniting this kind of violence must be stopped forthwith. President Ndayishimiye, wherever you are. You can't have people being shot. Where is Mtoto Kafwaya? Where are the people who have gone missing? From the time this government assumed the government, they have perfected the art of abdiction. If you remember, immediately UPND came into office, we had those mobile money operators who disappeared. 6 months, the OP are looking for them, the police are looking for them, they didn't find them. They were just found at a location which was said to be actually a center for UPND campaign center. So now they have perfected the art of abduction and this thing that they are doing. Well, what we are saying is that people of this country should remain prayerful because this is a spiritual battle. And I'm very happy that we have got a candidate in Brian Mondowira who believes in God. What you are fighting is a spiritual battle. It's very important that we go on our knees. God is working out something.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me take the last call so that I bring in my panelists. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Mwabombeni bamwamba na bonse abali papaneo ipo bashimulumbulwa. Well, bamwamba, I can see the pain in every common Zambian. Nachinka lipana inewine. Bamwamba, there is no way, I still repeat, to take the right of voting expression from a Zambian, from any human being on this earth. No way. No way, Bamwamba. No way. We have won these elections. Please, I beg you. No way, Bamwamba. No way. No way. No way. The Lord is there. You just can't have everything in your hands. We are your children. We voted for you. We give you everything. Give us back what you promised. Don't make us suffer. The misinterpretation. How could you say Mondowira declared himself president? No, he didn't. He did not declare himself. Baba president, when they were voting for you and when you were receiving, you also said the same thing. We are suffering. No way, Narika Mwamba.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you very much. Let me take the last caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and give us your contribution.
Yes, good morning, Ambassador Mwamba.
This is Mrs. Chalwe, calling you from Lusaka. Good morning, everyone on the panel. Thank you for bringing Dr. Sishua on yesterday's broadcast. What he said brought shivers to all Zambians who uphold democracy. It also requires us to do something. We need to have a strategy to put pressure on President Hichilema to concede defeat. He knows, and everyone knows, that he has lost the election. And myself, I read the article which Mr. Augustine wrote to the African Bureau, and that was very good. I want to suggest the following. Instead of only showing Tabo Kawana's video refusing that they do not have Honorable Kafuad Mainasoko, please invite or bring on your podcast. I don't know if it's okay, his wife or his brother or any relatives of those who were abducted, so that they can share to the nation that their relatives are indeed missing. And also, since they said that Tasila's husband has been located by his lawyers, you can also talk to those lawyers on your podcast so that the Zambians hear. Because Ambassador Mwamba yesterday, like Dr. Sampa has said, my husband and I received 2 separate messages on both networks, Airtel and MTN, that we should ignore the messages circulating that there are forced abductions and shootings. That's what the government said. The messages were even written that they are from GRZ. And the second thing I would like to suggest is that since Dr. Sishua explained that in the past, elections which were held, there were foreign dignitaries or ambassadors who had to talk to the president to concede. In the same manner, Ambassador, please make contacts to the available ambassadors and dignitaries in the country who can put pressure on President Hichilema. Since this worked in the past, I believe even now it can work. And then the third thing I'm asking, the third strategy is that since the ECZ is inflating the votes, is it okay that you can be showing the results from PVT and then you compare with what ECZ is explaining? I think it will put pressure on them to stop inflating. Because us here in Zambia, if we try to be doing this, we are afraid that we can be arrested. So this is my plea, Mr. Mwamba. Please, let's apply pressure so that we can liberate our country. Thank you so much, Ambassador Mwamba. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in Chanda Kaziya. Chanda, by now you know that our callers are king here, so they can disrupt any program anytime. And I just owe it to them that we should sometimes, it balances what we are saying. And they themselves know that they are king. Even when I tell them I haven't opened the lines, they just flood my cause, and, it then reduces the pressure. Sometimes I think we could be talking about something, then sometimes I think we are not incorporating their views. So it's for that purpose. You know the spirit of this platform, so I know you forgive me.
No. In fact, Ambassador, the callers are more important because they bring the real perspective of what is actually being experienced. They understand the realities and the specifics, but when the callers come, I'm totally with you. Immediately, you must cut, and then we hear what they're saying, and also to pick their minds in terms of what they want done, and giving all these brilliant suggestions that they're giving. Look at it. They're saying if we can start to get PVT, our own PVT, to check if so that our manipulation, when we do that, I know it's a big task to do, but it's something that can be looked into. I like that aspect. And then I was about to come to the Barnabas Mumba. As before, I was about to come. Barnabas Mumba is really a disgrace. I did not realize that. Where you even say, I've heard rumors. You are not anywhere in Lusaka. I don't know where you are. and then you pass a judgment like he did. And then evidence is there of the shooting. If he's magnanimous, let him come back and apologize for what he did. You can't do that, Vanevas. You cannot. The respect that people accorded to you and have accorded to you is that you are a person who, a man of God who stands for the truth. And how would you stand for the truth if you're going to just see something, palm Ireland? That's why now you start being seen as a job seeker. You can do better. Tekwaba, Filiba Kalamba, tekwaba. There are a lot of people across political lines that respect you. But when we start seeing Tabokawana behavior in you, it becomes a problem. It becomes a problem. You need to get back to your podium the way you did it and apologize to the Mundubile family. You can't do that. Coming to what some of the callers have said, Bamwamba, they are looking at the future before Tafila Onaike Findu. But I do not think that if we start discussing the disintegration, even when there is clear evidence from at least from Dr. Shua's view that the election was won by President Mundubile, and then we jump to go into the other. I think it's important to put that at the back of our mind, but for now, it is important to focus on what is currently obtaining and bring out these facts as they are happening and bring out the people that are not just speaking. Like Dr. Shua, he was not just speaking. He was giving examples and evidence, and he said if people want, they should be able to argue from the facts that he has. Look at the detail.
Bachanda, our people resign to the fate so quickly.
Yeah.
And I'm in shock how we have resigned to the fate that the election has been stolen and there's nothing we can do. 2-3 quarters, we're already talking about future discipline of Mundubile's MPs in opposition. You are being told that the election is being stolen. It's like Wakabora Lavaisa Munomunganda, Vareiva, Nde Punda Mutule, Ero Mulenja Skat, Namushwa, if I tungashta mkese Pokaloni, Gawapuisho Quiva, I think to Masachta TV imbi. But I'm saying, look, I'm in danger, my life, my family. Then Momland that if you chikawa, Tukamunani Mkapuka Fieloni. That's a but the common despair to resign to the fate. That is why politicians have always argued that for Zambians you can take them for a ride. They'll not go anywhere. You even be lucky if there will be a protest. Politicians have now, that's why they can be brazen to do what they are doing, storm a center, totaling center, and order like Kanema was ordering, order people to change and even order ECZ. Yet there are people seated. Even the personnel, the police couldn't stop Kanema, you saw that. And the people that are talking about that what can we do, we have Magen 20. Okay, let me show you. Roma constituency aspirant, the new constituency that was kept out of Munali. The aspirant, former mayor Chilando Chitangala, had done a good job. She manned every polling station. She ensured that her team collected the signed Gen 20 with ECZ. So when they began to announce false results at the totaling center, she decided to challenge those results. And she went. Do you know what ECZ did? ECZ ignored her and ordered the police to remove her. So she became the villain. You were talking of a matter in Kanyama, where these young people said, if your mulechta announced Fiabufi, the police instead rounded up all the boys and threw them. They are still detained. Look at this video, and I'll run the video of Kanyama as well. So you can see Chilando Chitangala became the enemy for having ECZ Gen 20 from polling stations. And that has been the pattern. So I just wanted to reinforce your views with those thoughts. Continue.
And I don't think, I'm having a very big problem here. You see, if people are in poverty, look at it that person who is right. And this is one of the biggest problems that the current government has placed on the Zambian. It's like when you are right, you are wrong. And when you are wrong, you are right. As long as it's a very bad thing, whereby they will come and divide you and start beating. In Bemba, that wow, minebabili. And that they perfected it. They will start with one person, and when they are destroying this other person, you are cheering on. You are cheering on. The moment they finish that, they jump to another person. They butcher him, they butcher him, they butcher him, they jump to another person. And meanwhile, that is exactly what we have said, Wamwamba. When they are doing all these imingala tobalechita, abantu baletamba. Muliamwine bekere mu totaling center. Look at the way they behaved kuri mukandi. They just say, oh, Imwe, get those people out. Now, you who is going to get them out, ukuya kwa tuwe zombie, kwa tautontonkanya, instead of saying, fish Areland they fear Manuel. No, wait a minute before I throw him out. If you listen to him. Because if a security person asks if they've listened to him before he throws him out, it changes the conversation immediately. Because then they will be forced to listen to the person. But when you know the person is right and you simply pick him up, you know that's the difference that we see in these countries where we are. When you are right, the system and everybody comes to you protection. It doesn't matter when you are right, you are right. And if we to feel to acquire mutima with Zambians, in Zambia, when things are wrong, and we see that the person who is about to be victimized is right, we must jump in and stop the person who is wrong. Because usually the wrong person will be alone. Usually akabafe umo, but now kwata power, which is also drawn from you, the people. It is your power that is using against you. Why don't you clip off the power from him? Tell him, no, we are not going to do that because you are wrong. Everyone will start to listen. They did that to Mkandila. Meanwhile, the figures are wrong. When the figures are wrong, challenging them, they say Fuma Pano, and then he's taken out. Then the process continues. Then we come back again. Oh, now we've revoked it. For me, I'm saying, if they touch one, in the trade union, they say, touch one, touch all. If we took the approach of, when you touch one, you touch all, because when Mukandila is there, he's not representing himself. He is representing a group of people. So the people that they've been disadvantaged by the removal of Mukandila must go there to say, okay, because Mukandila Mwakana, who else should be coming there? We cannot have Vafunya Mukandila, Batamsha, they throw out everybody and then they remain. No. The group of people that Mukandila is representing must go there now. Then I come to the issue of Wamakebi. Where is Wamakebi? Someone mentioned that.
Before you come to that, just a minute, hold your thoughts. Just hold your thoughts.
Good evening. My name is Kapembwa Simbao. I am the coordinator for Lusaka Province, presidential coordinator for Lusaka Province, for NRPUP/RP. I am shocked or perturbed with what I've been told has happened at Kanyama Torturing Center. Our agents have been picked up and locked up for being in possession of the Gen 20 form. Now, the Gen 20 form is a form that is given to the agent after all the counting has been done and the form has been signed as proof of what has happened at that particular polling station. And in fact, we have received the original Gen 20 forms from all the other polling stations. So how come it is not the case at Kanyama? I don't understand. I understand people from State House went there and made this problem and took away these people and had them locked up. This is not fair at all. When you are competing, there has to be two sides. You can't be competing by yourself. The counting must be done in the presence of both sides, and both sides must see and prove that the counting is correct. So there was nothing wrong being found with a Gen 20, as I've been told. I therefore request that, to be very fair in these elections, please release these agents and allow them to go back to the totaling center so that they can witness that it is NRPUP that has won or lost. In their absence, whatever is going to be determined or concluded will not hold. I thank you.
Oh, sorry. Uncle Jay, I forgot to switch on the microphone. Please just introduce yourself and begin the thought.
Thank you. My name is Uncle Jay. I want to appreciate the panelists that are there. Really, these are true patriots, excellent blends, and they are bringing out issues as we live in a country where information is actually layered. Right information is layered to take. May God continue to bless you. Yeah, I was talking about the issue that happened at President Brian Mundumile's home. I think that is a crime. And honestly speaking, the observer missions should take an interest in this. They need to denounce this. They need to investigate this. I've seen and I've heard them really giving reports and their findings, like they are really beating by the bush. They are really literally massaging the UPND government. Let truth be told. People are not happy. What happened is dangerous. If those people who we look to with huge followings would be attacked by the military in that manner, where does it leave us, the ordinary citizenry? That is actually something that we should be concerned about. You know, we are living in a country, Ambassador Mwamba and the panelists, where crowns are being glorified, like the Nevas Mumbas and all these, the Tawakawandas, who want to suppress the truth. This election has already been won by Blind Mundubile. But of course, this was already known for the longest time that we have a president that will never, ever accept any defeat. He's made it very clear from the way he's been behaving that he will never accept any defeat. But it is up to us Zambians to demand for what we voted. It is our right. We've decided as a people, this is what we want, and that is what should stand. People's voices is God's voice. That is the choice of God. When people choose, it is God choosing through them. So you should not really destroy the will of the people. The will of the people must prevail. And on the issue of Toto Kafwaya and others, these people are missing, and this is very, very bad. What the government should be doing is they should be able to present these people. Oh, we have found these people are in this place. Coming out and to laugh about a serious matter like this, where they were military and they were shooting, for me, it brings a very sad reading right now. Very, very sad. And we pray that God really intervenes in our country. We never thought would ever degenerate to this level in order to maintain power for someone. This is really sad, Ambassador Mwamba. I thank you.
Thank you very much. There's another caller. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Hello, caller. Caller, you've muted yourself.
No, I'm here now. Good morning.
Thank you, caller.
Yes. Yes, I will remain anonymous. I will remain anonymous for now.
My brother, your other device is on, so you are responding to your own, to your own device.
The thing is this: we just need to prove.
Yes, it's very hard. Let me take another call. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, good morning, Ambassador Mwamba. This is Don Oscar. I'm calling from Italy.
Yes, Father.
Yes, I would like just to contribute. First of all, thank you to the panelists. Thank you. Indeed, they are patriots, and thank you to you as well, Ambassador Mwamba. And I'm proud of you to hear from a UPND who hated you for what you are not. And today, before going to church, he clarified and he asked sorry to you because he judged you wrongly. I'm proud to have heard that. So my contribution is what is happening in our country is very sad. I won't comment on what we have all seen on Mwamba, Brian Mundugire being harassed. What is happening in the conference center where they are counting these votes? It's not fair. The votes are supposed to be transparent. So giving the wrong figures without accountability is totally wrong and is supposed to be condemned. I personally condemn it. Our country, Zambia, since 1962, in an era like this one, where there is also free education, it is really embarrassing to see that we are scared of figures. We are scared of comparisons. We are scared of discussion, open discussion. Now, I would like to caution you, being on a Sunday, allow me, Emmanuel Mwamba and the Zambian people, those who are listening to me. There is a quotation in the Gospel, in the New Testament, where St. Paul Apostle writes to the Galatians. I hope you can write this so sometime you can refer to it. He writes to the Galatians, Galatians chapter 6, verses 7. You reap what you sow. Your future results and consequences are a direct result of your current actions and choices. That's my point of reference, Galatians chapter 6, verses 6. There are other ones, Hosea 8, 7, or 2 Corinthians 9, 6. All these chapters they are talking about, you cannot do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall be also reaped. Now, here is my comment now. What we are sowing as Zambians, there is no any other consequence. We are going to reap what we are sowing. If we sow peace, we will reap peace. If we sow hatred or violence, unfortunately, we have to reap violence as well. This reminds me of Jesus Christ himself. He was being arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he said, when Peter wanted to defend him with a sword, he said, please, can you put back the sword in its cover? Because if you use a sword to defend, someone is going to use a sword as well to harass you. So put it back in its container, in its cover. So now, this is my appeal to our brothers and sisters in the men in uniform, especially. Zambians are your people. They have different political alignments and affiliations, but we are one people. We are one nation. To the contendants, Bahaka in the Shilema and Brian Mundwile in this case, who are very powerful contendants, let peace prevail. Afabantu pashala bantu. Ama elections, icharo lifupa bakolokota kofie washa. Once we are a family. We are Zambia, one Zambia, one Zambia. So, bahaka inde. You have the power. You remind me of what happened Kuri Cheche Banda. Those words I still remember. What are we going to say to the boss? Can you just say this? Do you remember? Even that time you refused that Cheche Banda was not abducted. Anyway, I know it is very difficult for Tabo Kawana to speak the truth, but I hope he can be touched by the Holy Spirit and he respect the wish of the Zambian people. They are not going to revenge. Mundwile has said it. I will not revenge. Please respect the decisions of the Zambian people. By army, by police, help us in maintain this peace. Do not chase those accredited to do their job. Defend them as long as they do the right thing. May God bless Zambia. May God bless you once more, panelists. And may God bless you, Emmanuel Mwamba especially.
Thank you very much. Let me take two last calls and I throw back to the panel. Our caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Good morning. I would love to remain anonymous for now. Anonymous,
make your contribution.
Yeah, so I would want to actually add my voice. I think on the I think when where I am right now, I think they started counting the votes around somewhere about. I think we finished around 21, and I was a spectator. Like we said we'll remain at these polling stations until all the votes are counted. And for sure, our president Mundwile actually won by 592. That is somewhere around Kafue. So immediately, after a few minutes, we saw the soldiers come in. So from that moment, purely I agreed to my sentiment to say Mundwile had won. Why these soldiers now? And the other point is, I think from the previous caller who says it's not time, it's not too late. We've won these elections. Mundwile has won these elections, and it's known. And you can see the fear in the UPND. You can see the fear in the president himself, because by now, a ruling party cannot delay announcing elections. That in itself is a telltale sign to say they are gone and we are not giving up. This is my sentiment, and I'll suggest from the point of view, Ambassador, you are actually a key person in this, together with the panelists and whoever you are involved. I think we need to start tabulating these PVTs so that we give pressure to these people that don't want to leave the seat. And you can tell that the environment itself, the soldiers that came in at that particular moment, they were so friendly. They also, it was as though they are also against the ruling party. So I think from my end, I would say, Ambassador, it's actually cardinal that we actually start tabulating. They are trying to manipulate this at the last hour. Look at what they've done to Celestine Mukandila. That is not good. And Salome herself, from their responses, you can tell they're actually sitting on a time bomb. They've lost these elections. Please, Ambassador, if we can start tabulating those, you have the data power systems that you can tabulate those, Power BI and those softwares that we can show what is happening. I think I would say that's all I can say, and I submit, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from, and give us your contribution.
Hello, good morning, Ambassador.
Yes, hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution.
I'll remain anonymous. Good morning to the panel.
Yes, anonymous.
Ambassador, yes, my contribution, Ambassador, is we have reached a point where we know for sure to say President Akainde is not going to concede defeat, because what has happened is, as yet, this president has killed. He has killed some people, and he knows to say when he loses power, he has to answer to those charges. So to avoid that, he will make sure that by all means he has to remain in power. And for the issue of PVT, can the international community, those the international observers who came, can they assist in releasing what they have, so that those are like they are independent? When they bring out those figures, I think it will assist. Because we are going to have a challenge, like talking, we can talk. But one thing he knows to say, Zambia is always talk. But at a certain point, they will stop talking and they will concede. That is my contribution. So
Thank you.
try by all means to involve.
Thank you very much. Let me go back to the panel. Panel, we had Dr. Chanda Kaziya on the line. You may have to conclude your thoughts about what you were speaking to, so that we can quickly attend to the issues of elections, and then we begin to wind up. As you've seen, Dr. Sampa has dropped out. He has rushed. You know, he's on call as a medical doctor, and he has rushed urgently to hospital.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just
and for viewers, he has rushed to hospital, not because he's sick. He's a doctor.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm taking most of the time. I'm very, very sorry. My apologies.
No. Please take your time. Take your time. We need to make sure that we exhaust our thought process. Yeah.
The appeal I would make to the people is, you know, I worked so much in organized labor. The only fear that every employer has is organized labor. And trade unionism started with when people were working on a farm in Eastern Europe. In way, maybe I would say over maybe 1,000 years and stuff like that. So they were working on the farm, and then one day they realized that they were really taken for a ride, the workers. So Every time one will talk about something, they will take action on him. So one day, the workers just said, we'll just sit here so that we can, we see what the farmer will do when we don't produce anything. And Mwamba, in the morning, the farmer looks out of the window, he sees there's nothing that is happening. So he walks there. And then he realizes that if these people are not working, his production is done. So what is it that you want so that this production works? People now gave the demands and then they chose the leadership. That is exactly the point at which we are. The only people that can stop this, other than what we are talking about, are the people. It's the people that say no. You don't have to break things. You don't have to insult people. You simply have to say no. We are not going to accept. If you arrest 2, the 4 show up tomorrow. You arrest 4, 8 show up the next day. You arrest 8, 30 show up the next day. You will not arrest the entire country as a leader or even as what. Once they arrest, other people show up and say, okay, don't break things. The only pressure that you can exert on people is when you put pressure and say, explain to us. And I'm giving an example, Mama. The people that are the candidates, they are there, they have been disadvantaged, and some people have been arrested. Now imagine the way this arrest sent Mukandila. Mukandila was alone representing so many people with him. I think Asomnia and Kasonde Mwenda. Now, everybody who supports Kasonde Mwenda and expecting that they'll get feedback from them, once they are not there, it means there's a vacuum. And that vacuum must be filled. And how is it going to be filled? It must be filled with other people. So other people must go there and demand that, okay, ngana mfumiapo Mukandila, nina ni mwasumi nishabepo to replace him, because if it's Mukandila you don't like, there's other people that we like who can be there, who can replace him. And that is the only way they are going to listen to us. If we keep going there, we keep putting more numbers, and you sit down, explain to us why you're doing this. Because even as leaders, when you go back and want to explain, in trade unions, ifo bachitanga mwafika okulanda balanda to kashi wala baleta mwise mulande nabo pano abantu ma members besu. Then when you speak to them, if you can convince them, but because that causes chaos, they are ready to listen and speak to you. So ECZ and everyone else, the men in uniform, you will be forced to start going hard on your people when they start asking questions and you don't have answers. Because instead of that, they're just asking answers for the decisions they've made. People have made the decisions. And the more you delay to give these decisions, which they already have, the more problems you create. You will create problems for yourselves, ECZ, because people will keep coming. And they should keep going. In H1 Ghana is arbitrary arrests. 5 should show up. They will not arrest the entire city. They will not arrest 5,000. Don't just be disorderly, but just demand accountability. Even if the president would say, oh, Tabasumini, and you see, we the people are the ones that are giving him the hope that he shouldn't say no. He shouldn't say no. He shouldn't say yes when he has lost. If you never try that, no, Tetiasumini. Allah, we are giving him hope that you shouldn't say no, and it will be okay when he doesn't say no, if indeed he has not won. If he has not won, there should be no room where we say he's not going to say no. The no must be an impossibility. We say, no. Takuwa abati tulanda tiawe. Nize shafume po abantu ngalabaranda tulefuma. Tatufune tulekwata conversation kati alaka nina pesa. The rules are there. Pressure must be applied on him. If indeed there is a problem and is not, conceding, if he's defeated, he must concede. If not, the system will show. Things will be there. But right now, as things stand, and with the PVT that is there, there must be enough pressure to make him realize that the people are getting impatient. The people are getting pressured.
Thank you. Thank you for your submission. Augustine, we go to elections. You had already started this matter. The invasion, military invasion of totaling centers, and where results are changed. Just last night, we had this invasion in Matero, at Matero Boys, where the candidate for UPND, Mwamba Sakala, with UPND thugs and soldiers all made a dramatic entrance. And the case in Matero is very strange, because this Mwamba Sakala had even conceded defeat and phoned Saulos and congratulated him. And of course, he must have been told that that won't fly. Go, we need those presidential votes and yourself there. So they stormed and will not be surprised if they announce any other winner other than Saulos, who won Matero. But that's typical to every totaling center that it has been done that way. Augustine, pick up the conversation.
Ambassador, thank you. Thank you very much. You see, you can steal the votes only to a certain extent. But when you have lost overwhelmingly, it becomes challenging to steal the votes. I'll draw you to the first, I think the caller that had called initially. You see, there are people who voted for President Hakainde Hichilema because they believed he was their best choice. They believed he represented their future in the next 5 years. But those people right now, as evidenced in the caller that called earlier, are regretting. They didn't vote for a president who is going to show that he is a dictator. For those of us who've been talking about his dictatorial tendencies, we've been branded propagandists, we've been called all sorts of names, but we know what we are addressing. Now, those people who called us those names, he is losing the sympathy of those people. He will not have it easy to govern the country if he's going to steal the vote, as the case is obtaining right now. I'm just seeing a video that Saulos Patrick Mwambasa Luhusa has posted, where at a specific polling station, he has compared the numbers ECZ have announced and the numbers on the Gen 20. The numbers are startlingly different. He won that polling station, but they've given the numbers to Alexander. Now, these are the things that they have been doing and sending these soldiers to go and manipulate the vote. Look at how Bruce Kanema in Solwezi, ambassador, stormed a polling station, stopped the vote. Bruce Kanema has lost that. You remember we were on this program when I think it was a representative of Chief Kabijimpanga. Solwezi is a dicey seat. You can't easily win it if you are not connected to the Kaondes. They are the majority in that place. And sometimes, in most cases, they want their own to be a member of parliament. When the UPND nominated Bruce Kanema, the chiefdom protested. They said, we have our own people that applied, but were not picked. That is a protest vote against President Hakainde Hichilema. The guy saw that he was losing. He walked into the polling station. He claimed, no, there was violence outside. How are you counting? After the confusion that they created, which has been systematic. If you remember, Ambassador, this confusion started with Kalufyanya. Kalufyanya was sent into Matero. He was sent into Mandevu. He was sent into, I think, some parts of Lusaka Central and Chawama to disrupt the voting process, to disrupt the counting process, because the numbers that Lusaka was recording were so huge against President Hakainde Hichilema. Now, when they disrupted that process, they then went and suspended the process. If you listen to Jonas, the lawyer for NRP UP who was at Mulungushi.
Jonas Zimba.
Zimba, yes. He questioned the suspension. He said, look, the law requires that the presiding officers themselves tell us, okay, that there is violence in this specific polling station. When it triggers that request, that is when you suspend voting in that specific location. He has asked who among the 13,000 requested that the voting should, the counting should be suspended. ECZ are yet to provide us with an answer. Ambassador, you and me come from a journalism background. That means we have a wide spread of contacts across the country. And these are people that are in offices and have been giving us information on how the manipulation has been happening. If you saw, I was busy yesterday receiving information and posting instructions from ECZ about how they were manipulating from a district electoral officer to a presiding officer onto the polling agents. It was systematic. There were instructions: stop, keep the Gen 20, do not announce the votes, and, change. Now, ECZ is failing. I've just received another message. I'm trying to make my own independent verification. The results for Chikankata, apparently it doesn't match with the registered number of voters. But before I can make that statement, I want to make sure that it's accurate. So I'll need to go back to the full, register of voters and then verify and then come back with that information. So other than these, manipulation and stuff like that, we also, Ambassador, need to make an earnest appeal to ECZ. They revoked Binwe Mpundu's accreditation to be at Mulungushi. They have asked or revoked Celestine Mkandila's accreditation. Honorable George Chisanga's accreditation is still active, but is among those missing arising from the military invasion at the residence of Honorable Brian Mundubile. So 3 observers, 3 monitors accredited to be at Tonse will not be at the National Totaling Center. The Electoral Commission of Zambia must immediately accredit 3 other Tonse Alliance monitors to replace those they have revoked their accreditation, because that is how you create an even basis for your electoral rules. Because there is no rule that when you revoke an accreditation, then the political party that is represented at the National Totaling Center completely loses out. This is not football where when you are shown the red card, then the number of players reduce on the pitch. You can replace, and that is what we are asking, because Comrade Roosevelt, Comrade Kasonde Mwenda, and of course Jonas Zimba will need backup. They'll need to rest at some point. They need to make sure that they're represented there. It's an earnest appeal to President Hakainde Hichilema. I also there was a caller first, before I make that appeal, Ambassador. There was a caller who was talking about NRPUP going into oblivion when after this. I think, first of all, such sentiments are a distraction. We cannot cross the bridge. We cannot be talking about something before we cross the bridge. We haven't crossed the bridge. There are 2 fundamental issues our country must address. Number one, it is the invasion on the private residence of Honorable Brian Mundubile. Arising from that operation, we fear that Honorable Mtoteka Fire and the ADC for Honorable Mundubile succumbed to gunshot wounds and they have passed on. The president, as commander-in-chief, must first tell us. That's number one. The army commander, Lieutenant General Ziyele, must come out. They owe this country an explanation. What is it that happened and where are these lives? We do not know the whereabouts of Honorable George Chisanga. We do not know the whereabouts of Bishop Trevor Mwamba. Can they tell us officially where these people are, including the support staff that they found there? Where are these people? Tell us publicly. We have information about locations where these people are. I can state here that some of these people are at Lusaka Central Police. Some of these people are at Kawata Police. Some of these people are at Matero Police. But can you officially give us information as to why they're in custody? Who took them to the police station? What have they been charged with? Can you come out and tell us? Stop sending those UPND cadres, Oliver Shalala, Jito Kayumba, this clown Tabo Kawana, and another clown Maundu. Stop sending them. We know what is happening. Those are precious lives. Those are precious lives connected to people who voted. Some of them voted for you. Can you account for them? Come out in the open. Tell us why you are holding those people. They are our relatives. They are our brothers. They are our husbands. They are our fathers. They are our uncles. They are our sisters. Can you come out and tell us where they are? You cannot just be sending idiots on social media to come and make fun of such a grave incident. Mr. President, you ordered a military operation. It is illegal. It is illegal. And you cannot sit quiet in community house. Come on, man. This is why you find that you're now going to create radicalism in Zambia. You have to come out and stop this, Mr. President. You are inflaming the nation. Can you tell us where our relatives are? Can you give an official statement? We want to see them. We need lawyers to go and see them. Why did you take them to the police? Who did? What charge have you charged them with? I think this is very critical, Ambassador, and this is one of the things that the monitors must be asking for. We come to the results. I have got a specific message for my dear mother, Mama Mwangala Zalomis. You are a mother where you are. Mayon mwebo ni mwebo ba mayo. Ni mwebo ba nakulu. Please demonstrate a heart of a mother and of a grandmother. We plead with you. There is only one Zambia. There will always be only one Zambia. The numbers you are announcing are not tallying. If you can keep 9,145 votes for an opposition leader, what else are you hiding? Allow our people who are observing to freely ask questions. Allow them to challenge you on some of those numbers. Look at the turnout in Southern Province. You have recorded nearly 90% turnout in Southern Province. But there was voter at presidential vote. There was voter apathy in that region. Total voter apathy. I've got a video of someone who was going around polling stations. Because I'm on the program, I'm here to watch it. Before we post, we want to make sure we verify. Because we come from a profession that taught us to verify before we post anything. Everything that I've posted on my Facebook page, everything, I am ready to defend that. Why? Because it's verified information. It's information coming from very, very credible sources. I don't want to publish falsehoods myself. Of what benefit is it for me to publish falsehood? So we urge Mama Mwanga Zalomis to say Zambia has been a peaceful country and all your predecessors have done a wonderful job. They were appointed by those who were participating in the election. But there were voices of reason that told the presidents before President Hakainde Hichilema that, oh, boss, you have, unfortunately, the numbers are not with you. You have lost this election, and this is what the people have decided, and this is what we're going to announce. Yes, there's resistance leaving. It's a sweet seat. Yes, the president thought there was no opposition. He went around the country saying there is no opposition. He went around the country saying, Nari kalakale. Wakesa pesa. No. It is not them. It is not Brian Mundubile who's saying, Naisa Mksendo Mpando. It is the people who gave you that seat that are saying, sir, we are coming to get this seat. We want to give it to another fellow Zambian of yours. The people themselves have decided. If the people have decided, there's nothing you can do. So, Honorable Bamayoba Mwangala Zalomis, Twa mi papata, be a Zambian, be a woman, be a grandmother. Allow the will of the people to prevail. The likes of Brown Kasaro, the CEO, Mr. Brown Kasaro, my dear sister Patricia Lohang, be fair on the opposition. There was that hoodlum who literally held you hostage. But look at how you treated Kasonde Mwende. Be fair on the people that are showing up on that at that totaling center. Allow the questions, allow clarity, because this is what will help our country. Ambassador, I will not stop talking about the invasion on Honorable Brian Mundubile's private residence. That's a serious issue. That's a serious situation. You know, I'm saddened knowing what I know, that the likes of Jito would even make fun of that incident. He posted something on social media yesterday saying scientists from China, some rubbish. I'm sorry to use some of this language, but you see, these are issues that will cause us to inflame the nation. You cannot deal with a very serious issue like that in the manner that the president's assistants are trying to deal with it. We need an official statement from both the Zambia Army and the Commander-in-Chief. We know, we are aware, we have the information. Please tell us what happened. Announce to the people what happened.
Yeah, thank you very much, Augustine. Thank you. Let me just play these two videos in relation to what you were saying about Celestine Mukandila, where his accreditation has been revoked. There was misbehavior at the totaling center, a very secure place. When this fella just says, look, I'm from the UPND Alliance, they let him. He came in pajamas. Just look at this.
To the end of our briefing.
Madam, excuse me. I've just woken up from the bedroom to come here.
We will
My name is
beg
Ezra
to
Ngurube.
move.
I'm the secretary
No,
to the Council
sir.
of President in the UPND Alliance.
Can
I would like
I
to
check
just bring
with
a
you,
suggestion
sir?
to the UCZ. The issue of questions now is over. Any political party that has got questions, let them write to you, the commissioner. Your time and your dedication right now, let it be to you announce the elections, not people coming here trying to alarm the situation. We don't want that. You ECZ right now, can you focus on the announcing of the elections, not this what we are hearing here.
I think
it is not fair. Look, these are confused people. They're trying to confuse the nation.
Okay,
we cannot allow that.
Can we end here?
Can you focus on the announcing of the elections? And let everybody do the same. Not what is happening here. It's not fair. Pakasalo Amdala, the Zambia is depending on you and this body, and this is the only body. They have got that kind of illusion in their mind to say they have won these elections. You are the only body to announce.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
Yes, madam.
May I request, we have closed this session.
I appreciate that. That's why I rushed in. I'm in the pajamas.
The feedback has been received and we'll beg to move for now. Thank you.
Right now, I'm in the pajamas. This nonsense should not continue. Mulembe laba isizeti. Zambia is big. Zambia is big. No, I can't accept this. Atna bekata want to shweke. Let isizeti announce the election.
That was the very sad incidents. Even when he stormed, there was security, the police couldn't stop. I've got the video. The police couldn't stop. As soon as he said, I'm from UPND, the disarmed police, the police couldn't act. So you understand what has been happening, the powers that these UPND cadres swerve. Can you imagine storming the totaling center, national totaling center in that fashion, and speaking on national television, ordering ECZ commissioners? And while Celestine was asking that ECZ delivers results as delivered at polling stations and constituencies, and he says we have this Gen 20, he was declared unruly and his accreditation has been revoked. Nothing has happened to that gentleman who did not just criminal trespass, but look at that conduct. Let me get your views, guys, and we begin to wind up.
Go ahead, Baba. Or should I go ahead? So go ahead. Yeah.
No. I was trying to remind Ambassador that you said you play the video from. I think it's a much more brief video for Celestine, how he was treated when he wanted to get clarification on the results. Look at the. I want to see the reaction of. The
I'll look for the video for Celestine too.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's that's where the problem is. If you are a referee, that guy's accreditation by now should have been revoked. Ezra Ngulube's accreditation should have been revoked. We don't know whether it has been revoked, because if you can send out or revoke the accreditation for Celestine Mkandila, but keep the accreditation for Ezra, then how fair are you? What kind of an umpire are you? You're not being fair. In any case, there's nothing wrong. Somebody has done a comparison between 2021 and 2026. Garin Kombo's stance in the totaling center, right at Mulungushi. Ambassador, you may wish to know, I was at Mulungushi and I was in that auditorium when Garin Kombo stood up. When Garin Kombo stood up and demanded that ECZ stops the announcement of one of the constituencies until both parties agreed that those were the actual numbers. And ECZ obliged because they respected Garin Kombo as a stakeholder in the election. The same thing that Mkandila is asking for today, they do not want to respect that fact. So who are they carrying out this election for? Are they doing it for President Hakainde Hichilema alone? No, not at all. The people of Zambia did not go to vote because they were voting for President Hakainde Hichilema. If there was only President Hakainde Hichilema on the ballot box, on the ballot paper rather, they would have put President Hakainde Hichilema on the ballot paper alone. The rest could have been any figurehead. Then the people of Zambia will just be talking about the election of President Hakainde Hichilema. But they voted for Honorable Brian Mundubile and the other candidate, among them Dr. Fred Membe, Dr. Comrade Harry Kalau. They voted for all these. Okay. Irrespective of how many they got, they voted for Given Katuta, they voted for everyone. All these are stakeholders and they must be listened to. Ambassador, there is this issue that there's an impression we're trying to create that this man, if he concedes defeat, it's not about if. He has got no option. If he has lost, he has to concede defeat. It's like you and me. When you are in position of power, you've been given a mandate. Your mandate has come to an end and you're required to leave. You cannot, it's not up to you to concede. It's up to the people who have voted. Have they asked you to leave, to stay in power or to leave? If the people have said your time is up, you have got no option. You have to concede. So I'm not too sure where people are getting this notion. It is Zambians to rise up. You have voted, then rise up. Tell him that we have voted. We know the outcome. It is not you we have voted for. Sir, step aside. That's it.
Thank you very much. Let me bring in Kaziya and speak to this and make your last remarks.
Okay. Yeah. You see, the misbehavior of the UPND cadres really shocks me. And the way they get away with stuff, like he would do something that you think this is there will be an instant reaction from the security forces or the police. And then the police just gets paralyzed. And these are people that just come to use their, they use their own feelings to make rules. Oh, there's violence outside, so you stop counting, Bruce Kanema. And that is Bruce Kanema has been one of the people that use very bad language. I remember his language against the former president, SEO. I can't even say it. Today, I don't know if you saw what I saw, Ambassador. Karufyanya with Mao Sampa. They were together. I don't know if it's an AI picture, I have no confirmation, but I saw Karufyanya with Mao Sampa. Karufyanya is still free. After everything we have seen him do, they don't want to talk about him. He's on the attack. He disturbs electoral process and still gets free. Who gets shot at? The people that are asking questions about the electoral process. Yesterday, our ambassador brought something that is very important. Where is the Mutotwe Kafwaya? If someone wants to argue about it, muleteni hapa tumumwone ati okay Mutotwe Kafwaya oyo. They are not talking about it. And I'm so disheartened. I didn't know that Jito also would fall in that line. What will they do when all this excitement winds down and they find Mutotwe has been injured or something bad has happened in the manner Augustine talking about? If indeed Mutotwe was shot dead, what will they do? What will they tell us? I would want to see them deflating things that have happened like they didn't happen. And I didn't even know that they were able to send messages. So government, the entire government system, spends money on sending messages that ignore something that has happened, something that they did. And they go ahead to pay for it to cover up. The Zambians must know. Even the people that are supporting UPND. One day, when you're in bad books, ukarufyanya fyaka anon. then hell will break loose. My final remarks, I'll just go through the day from Dr. Seshua brought a lot of insights. Mwamba, I would love that interview keeps running as a very priority interview. He brought out very serious researched findings. And Dr. Seshua, if you are listening, indeed what you said, that is what you are. You are a patriot. And we need more. We can't go to a depth of your level of research and how you put things together. Just like I tell you, Mwamba, that now I know that I can't go to your level in terms of how you put out the media strategy, how you put out information, and how you connect information. That is something that I admire where I am here. Zambians, this platform is for you. This platform and this openness, you will not get it in Zambia. It will not happen because even ourselves where we are here, we are seen like we're villains. But the only thing that we're doing is trying to do the best for our country. There's no place like home. That you must know. If we all cow down and say, oh, we will not talk about these things, who will? This platform needs support, needs information. Emmanuel can just go that far. The Gen 20s that we're talking about, send them in numbers because he can only work with what we have given him. Wherever you are, if you have information, send it. The ambassador last time said, you have a power tool in your hands. It's a phone. The moment you see misbehavior, pick it, record, send. Take a picture, send. Because that is the way, only way information is going to flow. Not everybody can be bought. Not. We need to work together for the betterment of our country. There is no way we can accept that one person, one citizen, becomes the overall. If one person, we have said no, we have said no. And the preamble in the Constitution says, we, the people, give ourselves the Constitution. Stand up. Be counted.
Thank you, Chanda, and thank you for your kind words. Augustine, I'll ask you to speak, but just listen to this. The president in opposition was very angry that results were being delayed, and see what he said. He had to go to Mulungushi and he demanded that the results be released. I'm telling to what you were demanding that ECZ should release all the results. They have them, especially for Southern Province.
And they're totaling up at a cent. Listen, my friend. Listen, my friend. Let me help you understand things you don't understand. Yes. Every stream is no more than 1,000 voters. Am I right, Jack? More? No. 800. So it can't take 4 days to count 800 votes if everybody turns up. Where on earth do you take 3 days to count 800, maximum 800 votes in a stream? We are in every stream. It takes only 3-4 hours, 5 hours maximum to count a maximum of 800 votes in a stream, Tayari. And they're totaling up at a cent. Listen, my friend. Listen, my friend. Let me help you understand things you don't understand. Yes. Every stream is no more than 1,000 voters. Am I right, Jack? More? No. 800. So it can't take 4 days to count 800 votes if everybody turns up. Where on earth do you take 3 days to count 800, maximum 800 votes in a stream? We are in every stream. It takes only 3-4 hours, 5 hours maximum to count a maximum of 800 votes in a stream, Tayari.
And they're totaling up at a cent.
Listen, my friend. Listen.
A conversation with
by ECZ, what can announcement. ECL produced and released the police and the military into the streets to maintain law and order. Today, they want to see it as if it's something alien that has happened for the very first time. That's not the case. That's not the case. This is what is mandated by them by the law. When you read the Defense Act, Chapter 106, what does it say? The military have got a responsibility to protect this country from threats within and threats outside. So when we see the military on the street there, they're not there to threaten anybody. If anything, they are paid by us with the people of Zambia. So we should be happy that they are there to protect us. So somebody asks stupid questions in there to say, no, our people have been abducted. Which people? The police are here. Ask them, whom are they abducted? Whom are they abducted? There's nobody. So let them not try to create this impression and illusion that this country is on fire. Zambia is not on fire. I've been calling people from across the country. The country is peaceful. The only thing that we need to do right now, let us give the Electoral Commission of Zambia chance to announce elections. If there is Party A, Party B, which has got any issue, let them be able to write to ECZ to say we have got these concerns so that ECZ can respond to them in written. This time that we are wasting here, let ECZ use that time to announce the elections.
You're not worried that you may be slapped with a Bishop of Peace with how you...
Which Bishop of Peace?
Right now.
Which Bishop of Peace have I conducted there? I stood there at the podium requesting for me to be addressed. I'm just waking up. So when you talk of Bishop of Peace, I have no problem with that. But I was peaceful there. I'm accredited to be here. And I'm accredited to raise a question. Whatever question that I'm supposed to raise. And we cannot allow evil voices to prevail. The reason why politics is called a dirty game, because you, the journalists, and other stakeholders that are watching, you good men, you have been quiet out there. That's not supposed to be the case. Let's call a spade a spade. And when people are raising those foolish questions, to a point whereby they start exchanging, but come on guys, Zambia is a very peaceful country. The whole world is looking up to Zambia because of the way we're trying to express ourselves as a democratic country. Peaceful elections. Then people in their mind...
To the end of our briefing.
Madam, excuse me. I've just woken up from the bedroom to come here.
We will
My name is
beg
Ezra
to
Ngurube.
move.
I'm the secretary to the Council of President in the UPND Alliance.
Can I
just
check
bring
with
a
you,
suggestion
sir?
to the ECZ. The issue of questions now is over. Any political party that has got questions, let them write to you, the commissioner. Your time and your dedication right now, let it be to you announce the elections. Not people coming here trying to alarm the situation. We don't want that. You ECZ right now, can you focus on the announcing of the elections, not this what we are hearing here.
I think
it is not fair. Look, these are confused people. They're trying to confuse the nation.
Okay,
we cannot allow that.
Can we end here?
Mlongoti 01. Irangiza ine 268. Alex 137. I ndi wachoko punda kumatero boys. Alex 568. 2 ine 137.
Pelekani.
But sayo yose majeni 20 mnatenga pa Mlongoti.
Huyu anakopa, banakana kuwapasa.
Banakana kuwapa. Do you have it? Of course. Room 3.
Room 2.
Banakana kumpa sani.
Room 3. Banakana no kukopa mu room 3.
But you are leading again in room 3. Mayor and leading and NRT. Councillor, NRT. Majority na pao MPM NRT.
Muona chukwama wadadiwe zeko.
Neze patikani. That's why Nabi is
Nindaze mu room 3.
Mzela tekerisha ndio anasaina na kwa majini.
Walipo.
Walipo? Walipo.
But never was that call.
Mwamile warakana wapasi.
Ndio wabineza kufuna umenya no menya.
Onse.
Ndio wabineza kufuna umenya tutokerisha.
Kifisibana tuuze. So ni bosele ni tumpasa ni chade ya kansela.
Banaisha no umuza kiwe takuziba.
Tukupasa chade ya kansela. Even because never started into room 1 around. Aba uzati imwe. Ina ni mukambati. By law we are supposed to get.
Augustine, you can finish your thoughts.
Ambassador, I think it appears there are 2 laws in Zambia. One for those who support UPND, yes, and the other one that's those who support, the opposition or those who are independent. Because the things that Ezra said, if a person who supports the opposition or an independent mind said them, they would have gone in for sedition. As we speak, and it's sad, to have a country that has got, 2 laws that apply to different people. But I keep saying that we have a beautiful country. We have a wonderful Zambia. President Hakainde Hichilema still has time to go into the history books as one who respected the will of the people by conceding when the people say they don't want him. He will not be the first one to concede defeat. He will not be the last one. President Rupia Banda conceded defeat. President Kenneth Kaunda conceded defeat. President Edgar Chagwa Lungu conceded defeat. And it is time that President Hakainde Hichilema demonstrated to all of us that Zambia is bigger than him. Zambia is bigger than any one of us. He should not be the one to create chaos. He should not be the one, or it should not be under his watch that Zambia should be inflamed. If there are any fears of, supposed or thinking that he'll be persecuted, I think President Brian Mundulele has demonstrated and he has stated he's not such kind of a man. What President Hakainde Hichilema needs to do now in the interest of Zambia is to begin to reach out to his brothers, to start creating a connection, a soft spot. Tempers are high, and they should not be, be inflamed. The people have spoken. The results are clear, and I'm just ambassador from seeing the results for Kalomo Central. Before I go back, at parliamentary level, they announced about 30-something thousand as the voter turnout, or those who cast the vote for the parliamentary candidate. At presidential, they announced 41,000. Now, there's a difference of 7,000 plus. So, are you telling the people of Zambia that 7,000 plus voters walked into Kalomo Central just to vote for President Hakainde Hichilema? They didn't participate in voting for the MP and these others. There's a similar incident, I've forgotten the place, but I've posted something where votes for a polling station, vote for the president is about 400, vote for the MP is about 480 something, and vote for the councillor is in the 300s. Vote for the mayor is 0. So the question is, for the same UPND mayor. So the question is, people went to a polling stream. 400 of them voted for the president, about 400 plus voted for the MP, about 300 or so voted for the councillor, and 0 voted for the mayor. Is there any logic? Certainly not. You can tell how the numbers have been manipulated. But even if they've been manipulated, Brian Mundubile still has a commanding lead when you consolidate all the constituencies. So now what they are trying to do is heavily reduce the margins, especially for Lusaka. They have failed to do it in some areas in the Copper Belt because the Copper Belt has been very vigilant and very vicious to such tactics of manipulation. So can we have an explanation? What is happening on the numbers? The ECZ or the Zambians, a proper explanation. You just don't walk in and start announcing fictitious figures that Madame Mwangala Zalomis would probably have made up in her mind because they don't exist. How can 7,000 people vote for an MP, a president, but they didn't participate in voting for a president, for an MP? It doesn't make sense. So I hope ECZ will come back and tell us, give us the actual proper results today.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. We will speak to you later. We are still looking for George Sanga. And you wish to say something, my brother?
Yeah, I was asking if maybe there are some people that have called. You don't have any more callers?
I have. They are calling. The phones never stop buzzing. And you know how Facebook is. Even when you've left, some people, when they join, Facebook takes them to where they've joined. So 2 hours later, they're still calling and I want to contribute. So we love our people and we give them. So even now, the phone is buzzing. Let me take some quick calls, maybe before you go.
They're important.
Yeah.
It's important. You need the Zambians want to speak.
Yeah, let me take just some 2-3 calls before we go. So you callers that have been calling, it's an opportunity. Hello caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from and make your contribution. Please switch off the other device.
Are you able to hear me clearly?
Yes, very, very clear. Make your contribution.
Okay. I'm anonymous.
Yes, anonymous.
First of Mwamba, what we are seeing is extremely concerning. Where polling station results recorded on the official forms do not match figures subsequently entered or announced at the totaling centers. I think those discrepancies must be transparently explained and corrected. So at this point, I think what we are saying repeatedly, asking the ECZ to be professional or talk to them, it's obviously not working because it will be the same thing. I think my appeal is not for violence, of course, but I'm calling for peaceful, non-violent, lawful civic action. Zambians have a right to express their dissatisfaction, to demand transparency, and to insist that every legitimate vote is counted exactly as it was cast. I don't think a protest at this point, peaceful protest, would be wrong, especially for Lusaka. Copper Belt have protected their votes, but Lusaka is a problem. We see what is happening in Matero, we see what is happening in Kanyama, we see what is happening in Mandevu, and these are big numbers. One constituency in Lusaka is equivalent to 2 or 3 in these other provinces, constituencies. And so this is a very, very big problem. It's clear Mundubile has won, but with these machinations, I think it will be a very big problem. So I think for me, my appeal is for a peaceful protest countrywide. Not to break anything, but just to express the displeasure that this is very unfortunate what ECZ is doing. Thank you.
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution.
Hello, Mr. Ambassador. My name is Panonofie. Mwamba, we thank you so much. Pantu tupusukira tupemina mudi platform yen. Katushinga wale ngumfa.
Mkwai.
Mwamba, I just want to make an appeal. Ukulinga na ngomfiashi. Kweba kwata bana. Makamaka ifufwe bana mayo. Ufiashi bwadi kadipa sana pakwa fiati. Ukushe fumo. Uise na kuleba. Ufiale no mwana udia. Umubika na kuivere diobe. Mpaka akula. I'm appealing kuli ba mama ba Nazaromis. Mama ba Nazaromis. Tuadimi chindika. Ero nenchito yenu mama ikankala. Mama kale mwaya mboku bomba. Na mafunde yonse fye mwadi yeshiba. No kutufunda mama ni mwebo mweba tufunda. Mama mulibana kashi ngaine. No bufiashi mama mwadi bwishiba efyo bwakalipa. Ifo fweba na mayo ni fweba fuire ukulasunge chalo. Pantu ni fwe tufiala. Mama ba Nazaromis. Pangeni fintu ishiamano. Tuleleni fwe bana benu. Tuli bana benu. Ichalo cha Zambia. Te chalo cha muntu moyo. Cha ifwe. Mama ba Nazaromis. Uyo mpando mwai kalapo. Wafuma kubana benu. Aba Mzambia. Eba mitekapo. Nombanga mwasula. The majority, you go for a minority. Nishimule lufianya. Mama ba Nazaromis mwadi kwata bana. Na mkwata na benshikulu. Ne finshikulula. Abenshikulu bakesa fiala bana banabo. Elo bakala fiala bana banabo. Tatu wakabeko ifwe. Na imota mwakabeko. So mama ba Nazaromis. Sheni. Liga sipachalo isuma. Iya kwe bati badi abana nabo bakesela ndokwe bati twali kwetu omufiashi watupusuishe. Mama ba Nazaromis tapadi echo muchulila mwali kwata fyonse ififintu fya muno mchalo fila shala ama possession ayo mwakwata yakashala. Mama ba Nazaromis kuri omulumendo walilile sana na mumumona taledi lobufi uli omuntu aledila kuli imwe ukwebati mutupusushe ukupususha muletu pususha tekwebati kumipata tulefa yoku mune chalo chesu ukuya pamulu. Mama ba Nazaromis inene ulelanda ishafyalwa neka na fyalwa na abantu obo tumona obo tulya nabo inchushi. Tolile loba mama ba Nazaromis. Muzakubia abantu bala mukuteme nkuni. Isha kuna ila pobwadi. Inwe tamuteme nkuni. So nomba muivike muli uli omundu. Mama ba Nazaromis. Lekele ni chalo kubantu. Ifo fwe bantu. Tulekele ni chalo. Mama ba Nazaromis. Na mite ni kuinga fo. Oko muli konse mama ba Nazaromis. Kutumaneni pepeni. Ngamuli kwalesa pepeni mama mu pepe. Muyeba na ba ati na afuma mulishi. Akana balila. Epo na pera ba Mwamba.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from and make your contribution. Hello, caller. Oh, the caller has dropped out already. Let me just take this last caller that we can. Oh, I wish you could have Peter. Gentlemen, when you open the floodgates, we will not sleep.
It goes. Ambassador, this is this is very touching. And you know, when you hear voices like that, the voices that know, they deep down feel the change. And then...
And that is from the time we started, including today. Pule Daniel, C, CDP 211. Siamunene Ritual, NFP 482. Kunda Howard, Zawapa 517. Njovu Akim A, DU 551. Silumbe Richard LM 681. Mushimba Brian OPP 1111. 1,111. Chansa Given M MEE 1,552. 1,552. Katuta Given Independent 1,919. 1,919. Membe Fred SP 2,798. 2,798. Kalabahari CF 3792. 3,792. Walia Kelvin F ZMP 3,965. 3,965. Mundubile Brian M NRPUP 351,281. 351,281. Hichilema Hakainde S UPND 438,708. 438,708. Registered voters in the 49 constituencies 1,503,450. 1,503,450. Valid votes cast 807,568. 807,568. Rejected votes 26,103. 26,103. Total votes cast 833,671. 833,671. Percentage turnout 55.45%. 55.45%. Thank you.
Let me help you understand things you don't understand. Every stream is no more than 1,000 voters. Am I right, Jack? More? No. 800. So it can't take 4 days to count 800.
Good evening. My name is Kapembwa Simbao. I am the coordinator for Lusaka Province, presidential coordinator for Lusaka Province for NRPUP/RP. I am shocked or perturbed with what I've been told has happened at Kanyama polling Kanyama Totoring Center. Our agents have been picked up and locked up for being in possession of the Gen 20 form. Now, the Gen 20 form is a form that is given to the agent after all the counting has been done and the form has been signed as proof of what has happened at that particular polling station. And in fact, we have received the original Gen 20 forms from all the other polling stations. So how come it is not the case at Kanyama? I don't understand. I understand people from State House went there and made this problem and took away these people and had them locked up. This is not fair at all. When you are competing, there has to be two sides. You can't be competing by yourself. The counting must be done in the presence of both sides, and both sides must see and prove that the counting is correct. So there was nothing wrong with being found with a Gen 20, as I've been told. I therefore request that to be very fair in these elections, please release these agents and allow them to go back to the Totoring Center so that they can witness that it is NRPUP that has won or lost. In their absence, whatever is going to be determined or concluded will not hold. I thank you.